My name is Muireann Hayes, and on Christmas Eve my life ended. And began again. The front door of our Hillsborough mansion, a 2-story slab of imported oak, slammed open. My father didn't even look at me as he tossed my single suitcase onto the frozen marble steps like it was trash. My mother stood beside him, expression polished and empty, the way she got when pretending we were strangers. But the worst was my sister, Tara, 27, beautiful, vicious. Her red silk dress shimmered in the foyer lights as she folded her arms and smirked. "Let's see how you survive now, big sis." That was the last sentence my family ever spoke to me. The fog was so thick it looked alive, curling around the mansion like a ghost. I had no money, no car, no coat except the long cashmere wrap I'd grabbed in panic. 20 minutes earlier I still lived here. Now I wasn't even allowed to exist on the property without an appointment. I dragged my suitcase down the perfect pavement of our gated neighborhood, every exhale turning white. My teeth chattered so violently I tasted blood. I sat on a snow-dusted park bench near the old Episcopal church. For the first time in years, the truth hit me. I had nowhere to go. That's when she appeared. An old woman, barefoot, skin turning purple, silver hair whipping like wire in the wind. She looked like the cold had already claimed her. And somehow she still whispered, "Do you know if any shelters have room tonight?" Her voice was soft, tired, human. I didn't even think. I stood, took off my only warm coat and wrapped it around her shoulders. My hands were shaking so badly I couldn't feel my fingers. She looked at me, really looked, and whispered, "Kindness like yours is rarer than diamonds." Then she walked into the fog and vanished. I sat alone, colder than I'd ever been in my life, but somehow lighter. Like giving away the last thing I had loosened something that had been strangling me for years. I didn't know it yet. But she wasn't homeless. And she wasn't gone. Not even close. 12 hours earlier. I had been laid off. 6 years at a San Francisco ad agency, gone with one generic email. I drove home to Hillsborough, hoping my family would at least let me crash for a few weeks. When I walked in, the house looked like a luxury magazine cover. Orchids everywhere, caterers setting a table for 20, Dad opening a 2005 Dom Perignon like it was tap water. And then I saw Derek. My ex. 4 years together he left me with, "It's not you, it's timing." He now had his arm around Tara's waist, and on her hand, a 6-carat diamond. My diamond. Tara announced their engagement like a queen addressing peasants. She even live-streamed me walking in. My father waited until the room was watching before saying the words that broke me. "You're no longer part of the trust. Everything goes to Tara now. You have 20 minutes to pack." My mother didn't even meet my eyes. I packed in silence. When I came back down, Tara narrated into her phone. "And here comes the prodigal daughter, with one sad suitcase." I stepped outside. The door shut. The alarm armed itself. And just like that, I was nothing. The woman returns. I spent the night in a cheap motel, applying to jobs I wasn't qualified for, eating vending machine crackers. Then my phone rang. "Miss Hayes, this is Grace. Mrs. Alina Calloway requests your presence." I laughed. I thought it was a scam. Until I opened the door. 19 identical black BMW sedans filled the parking lot. 19. The back door of the middle one opened on its own. And there she was. The woman from the bench, but transformed. Elegant camel coat, perfect low chignon, diamonds like starlight on her wrist. She smiled as if we were old friends. "Muireann," she said softly. "I've been watching you." The truth about Alina Calloway. Her mansion was hidden behind redwoods in Atherton, a 1920s Tudor estate bigger than my parents' entire neighborhood. Inside, everything smelled like cedar and old money. She told me her real name, Alina Calloway. Her late husband founded Calloway Commercial Realty, a multi-billion-dollar empire. When he died, she took over, then quietly shifted everything into a charitable foundation that gave out over $120 million every year. Then she told me her ritual. Every Christmas Eve for 25 years, she leaves her estate disguised as someone with nothing. No money, no phone, no security visible. she searches for one thing. A heart that stays kind when no one is watching. Most years she finds nothing. This year she found me. Her security team had followed me from a distance for 48 hours, watching me survive without once bragging, complaining, or trying to find her. Then Elena said the words that changed my life. I have no heirs. I want someone who knows what it feels like to be thrown away. I want you to help me decide where the next $100 million goes. She offered me a room, a salary, and a 5-year apprenticeship. If I proved myself, the foundation would be mine to run. Not a gift, a responsibility. Becoming someone new. The training was brutal. 6 a.m. lake runs with a former Navy SEAL. Boardrooms on Sand Hill Road, where billionaires argued like toddlers. Non-profit executive classes at Stanford. Site visits to shelters, schools, clinics, meeting people who had survived the unimaginable. Elena pushed me harder than anyone ever had. She forced me to grow. To think bigger. To feel deeper. To fight smarter. I rewrote the entire grant process. Shorter applications, faster responses, no red tape designed to punish the people who needed help most. Every night I collapsed into bed exhausted, but alive. For the first time, I wasn't living in someone else's shadow. I was building something real. The day everything changed again. One June morning, Elena called me into the library. She slid a cream-coloured folder toward me. Inside was a contract. President and CEO, Calloway Foundation. Base salary, $195,000. Decision authority, full starting year 3. Equity share, 3% of a $4 billion endowment. My throat closed. She said quietly, I didn't choose you because you gave away a coat. I chose you because for 5 months you fought for people no one sees. Then she said the line I'll never forget. The river is yours now. Make sure everyone can eat. I signed with tears in my eyes. For the first time in my life, somebody believed in me without condition. The family returns. 4 months later, my assistant buzzed. Your sister and Derek Whittaker are here. No appointment. Of course. They walked in with fake humility plastered onto their faces. Tara spoke first, voice trembling like she'd practiced crying. We've been awful. Dad is in financial trouble, Mom too. And Derek's startup just needs $2 million to close the round. I sat back, studied them. Tara finally whispered, We just need your help, please. And for the first time in my entire life, I felt absolutely nothing for them. Not anger. Not hatred. Not vengeance. Just clarity. I said, I spent 32 years begging for your approval. But the day you locked me out, you taught me the most important lesson of my life. Tara swallowed. What lesson? I stood, walked to the window overlooking the entire city, my new world. Family isn't the people who share your blood. It's the people who would sit on a freezing bench with you. The ones who show up when you have nothing left to give. I turned to them. I don't fund entitlement. I fund impact. Derek tried to argue. I raised a hand. Good luck with the weddings. Security escorted them out. I didn't watch. Some doors once closed. Never reopens. The real endings. That night, Elena and I sat on the terrace, sipping wine older than both of us put together. She raised her glass. To the girl who had every reason to become bitter. And chose kindness anyway. I clinked mine against hers. And to the woman who didn't let one good deed stay invisible. The sun dipped behind the redwoods, staining the sky gold. For the first time since Christmas Eve, I felt at home. Not because of where I was, but because of who I had become. Sparkles if you've ever been thrown away by the people who were supposed to love you most.